success as a leader is not dependent on how strong you are, how good you are in understanding it, but it is more about how you good at managing your people. Most of the time, success of the project is not about the delivery. Success of the project is more about how you fulfill the requirement of the customer. Go on the ground, talk to people, understand the issues, and work with them. And you become people's man rather than the project man.
Having domain expertise is one thing, but connecting with people is equally important.
Team contributor, not team player. Everybody is team player. So team contributor is basically who needs a team to function. Rather than being a transaction-oriented personality, go to the leadership role or maybe supervisory role, which will help you to start thinking different. So AI is not going to replace anybody. It's going to enhance your role.
We should not be afraid that, AI will eat our job, but the mindset should be how can we leverage AI into making ourselves better. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Tech Baithak, the ultimate platform where we try to have real conversations with the best in business. My name is Ashwin Agrawal and I'm your host yet again for today. Today we shall be focusing on a very critical yet not overlooked factor that defines the success of any project, the role of emotional intelligence in leadership and project management. And to dig deeper on the same, our guest for today is Mr. Satish Mahajan, who himself is a technology enthusiast, coach, mentor, counselor. I mean, what is he not? I think all in one, I would say, to just start off. And Satish Ji himself was honored with the Technology Leader Award by Tech Global CIO Forum way back in 2021. Satish Ji, a very warm welcome to our podcast today, and it's a pleasure to have you on our show today, sir. Thank you so much for the time today. How are you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. Great. I think Satish, sir, seems to be a man of a few words, but I think we'll get more from you, sir, as we progress towards the podcast. So, Satish, sir, I believe that I was talking about leadership, and I personally believe, sir, that leadership is evolving across all geographies, organizations, industries rapidly. And the definition also, I believe, was very subjective. For example, let's say someone who is a very good leader to me may not be a very good leader for you. Correct. And vice versa. So, Satish, you yourself are so passionate about technology, so passionate about teaching, and you've yourself handled large-scale projects, managing various and different kinds of teams. So, keeping that in mind, and to just set the tone for our podcast today and for our viewers as well, can you please break it down for them as to, or how has emotional intelligence actually shape your leadership approach over the past few years?
If I try to define emotional intelligence, it is more about connecting the people, knowing the people. And your success as a leader is not dependent on how strong you are, how good you are in understanding it, but it is more about how you good at managing your people, knowing the people. Okay, so when I say I have a team of around 30 people with me, so I should know my people well, what is their strength, what they can do best, and then distribute the work accordingly. And that becomes your success. So if you try to push something which they don't like, they may be good at something else. So you may not get the right result. So EQ or maybe emotional intelligence, all this say that, connect to people, get the setting successfully.
Right. So connecting with, having domain expertise is one thing, but connecting with people is equally important. Yes, correct. This is what you correct, sir. So Satish Ji, definitely I understand that emotional intelligence is about connecting with people. But isn't that easier said than done? Because we keep on hearing that, we need to connect with people. But I believe it's actually easier said than done. That is one. And also, not everyone has that amount of skill as well to connect with people. Because as you rightly mentioned, that different people can have different skill sets based on their personality. Because all these things are non-cognitive, I would say. So I would also like to bring the corporate aspect of it into play, wherein initially, and because the topic is also that the role of emotional intelligence in leadership and project management. So, sir, in your humble and respected opinion, because as you already know, Satish Ji, that project managers themselves, they face a barrage of problems at once. And numerous delays, multiple stakeholder expectations, at times internal team conflicts as well. So, in such kind of a situation, Satish ji, what is your take on how, as to how can emotional intelligence help a project manager or a corporate leader to overcome these challenges?
So I think if I talk about project management, the base remains same, knowing the people. So I have so many people working under me. They may be project managers. There may be cross-function teams also working on the same projects. So typically, if I look at the larger perspective, I look at the real estate part implementations, okay, IT implementation, okay. So I need to educate these people in terms of what we want in my project. So if I'm talking about IT as a subject, okay, I want to do a cabling in the organization, okay. So and I want to maybe build a server room in the office. I want to have a UPS in place. So instead of I putting my effort in every time doing this activity, I educate people saying that, okay, when I talk about a UPS, so this is the capacity how we can depend. What is three-phase UPS? What is single-phase UPS? In fact, that has helped me. Next time the electrician or maybe the project manager will not come to me asking these questions. And he will also feel pride that I'm adding more value to my project. Okay. And most of the time, success of the project is not about the delivery. Success of the project is more about how you fulfill the requirement of the customer. Okay. And that always helps. So the project success is not only defined, can be fair or successful based on the feedback from the people. So taking people in confidence when I'm implementing anything or a new rollout is very critical as a leader. Okay, so you may be sitting maybe 20,000 kilometers away, but I want to manage some project happening in Africa. Okay, so I should know what is their requirement. Okay, one of the biggest challenges which you rightly said that many times budget is a constraint, delivery is a constraint. Okay, now the issue is we go through these challenges on day in, day out, and suddenly the management come back and say we initially planned it on 15th of April. Now, because of the pressure, we want to roll out on the 15th of March. So now that means the whole delivery schedule has to be reworked. Now we started looking at it in a different way. What we started saying is, now tell me what is minimum required for you to get this project go live. And then we keep adding to it in phases. Okay, there may be 200 machines required. Okay, we'll ask them, okay, out of these 200, which are the critical machines which you require immediately? And then we roll out accordingly. Now that gives me a upper hand because I have fulfilled the requirement of the customer. Plus, I'm taking my one project manager to confidence. I'm not pushing everything to him. Okay, as a leader, I'm helping him to say, okay, boss, I think you are in trouble, I know, but I'm with you in this case and will convince the management that we'll get this done, but in a phased manner rather than doing in one book.
Viewer, I think Satish sir has taken me in my, I think it's taken me back in my second or third grade, I think, because we used to keep hearing all these slogans that communication is the key to success. But I think that's pretty much what you are also saying, sir, that with the stakeholders, it is very important to effectively engage and communicate so that obviously, first of all, there will be no conflicts. And second, it will foster a very healthy relationship with time. I think that is what...
Correct. And the main thing is expectations. The more you communicate, you get to know what is expected from the manager.
The more the management...
Also, you keep telling them the challenges also. These are the challenges. This may get delayed. So you tell me how we can take it ahead. Sometime it may happen that I think it's urgent. But due to the internal approval processes or in other things, the things are not getting moved. So go to top management and these are the challenges. It may happen that with the things which are supposed to happen after 15 days may get approved in 2 days. So that communication has to go to the stakeholders saying that, oh, these are the challenges, these are the things. And more important, you keep telling them the success stories. So normally when we go to the management, we keep telling about the failure stories. Ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua, aisa nahi hua, waisa nahi hua. Instead of that, go and tell them, okay, this is my small achievement today. So this is what I have done. So today, maybe I can give a very layman example. 15 machines delivered. So out of maybe 20 machines, 15 are delivered, 5 are on the way. So at least management is happy that something is happening on the ground. Everything is not completely black.
So I think we all used to hear about these foundational values way back in school, but Satish, I believe somewhere down the line we have all forgotten because we used to keep on hitting like it's all life is all about give and take. I think that's what you're saying. Yes, because we need to give information to get information. So we need to communicate, and then we get information from this type of exactly. And they also keep on hearing that focus on the positives and please do not let go of the negatives. That's what you are always saying. That we always keep on communicating about the failure stories, but we must focus for a change on the success as well.
So small success will actually build the confidence of the even project managers, the people working on the ground, and even the team feels that somebody is with us to roll out the project.
Yeah, I must say, Satish, you have taken me. Maybe it's got to do something with you being a teacher, but it has actually taken me back to my school days because this is हम लोग सर सुनते रहते हैं सब टीचर बोलती है मम्मी बोलती है सब उस समय सर like at that point of time we feel that no these are like very theoretical concepts. I think these are actually practical.
These are not actually theoretical. The thing is, we are scared about the success sometimes. Okay, जाऊंगा तो क्या बोलेंगे? So it's like this. People have a habit that people don't like to talk more positive. So when if I go and tell somebody that out of 20, 15 machines, वो 5 machine का क्या बोल?
We have a tendency to only look at the negatives you're saying. Half figures. Correct. There was a saying that if an optimist sees the glass half full, a pessimist sees the glass half empty, and an opportunist just goes away with the glass of water and drinks it up. So this was the same. I think that's pretty much what you're also.
And be part of the team, I think, which is very critical. Okay. So then only you'll come to the real pace. Because if you sit on maybe 80 feet and start working with the team, you will never be successful. Go on the ground, talk to people, understand the issues, and work with them. And you become people's man rather than the project man. So be a people man. I think people will come out of the way and get the things interesting. And I've tried this, and today that's one of the biggest assets for me.
Correct. Sir, on that note, I think that's a very interesting point Satish sir has put forth for all of us. But sir, on that very note, you mentioned that I'm sitting here in 20,000 kilometers in Africa to deliver a project. And just right now you mentioned that you are sitting at 80 feet and probably you have to be a people's man than just calling the project manager. On that very note, sir, we keep on hearing about employees complaining about work from office. Okay, project managers, I personally also am a part of that group, but keeping me aside for a second, a lot of project managers have this pet peeve or complaint that employees are not willing to return to office. They're comfortable in a work from home scenario. The maximum they're okay is for a hybrid mode. 3 days office, 2 days home or vice versa, but a hybrid mode. In that scenario, sir, since you mentioned it is very important to be on the ground, I think this question is even more relevant. How do project managers tackle this challenge in becoming a people's man in this particular scenario, sir?
Okay. I used to tell somebody's statement one of my senior leaders and tell that in corporate, we are not here to sell ice cream. Okay. So we have to keep the situation as is. Right. So how to control this? So we need see that there are different kind of roles. One role is of individual contributor. He can work in isolation. Okay, there is some tools which are team's contribution. So which is more transaction based. So for example, if I'm managing a transaction, like I'm part of the procurement team and daily I am doing commercial, daily I am building PRs and purchase acquisition and out. I need people on the ground. I cannot wait till somebody calls me and tells me what is the problem. I need to talk to them closely and get the things. So you need to differentiate between these two. The individual contributor can work in isolation and get the things done. Okay, the team has to be with you when you are doing the team because it's the team contribution. Okay, if the things are not working, which also I practice, start playing with their stomach. It works. So if you tell them that, okay, you need to cut down your 10% salary if you're working from home, and then you decide, things will come back automatically.
So it's very important to figure out as a project manager who is an individual contributor and who is a team player. Team is what I understand.
Team contributor, not team player. Everybody is team player. Everybody is a team. So team contributor is basically who needs a team to function.
Correct. Another important insight for all of you, I think, because for all of us rather, because team player So this is where the lines get blurred, right? Because there's a very thin line between a player and a contributor. A player is just a designation, but a contributor is actually a responsibility, I feel, because you actually contribute adding value, deriving value. So I think quite a lot of insights that we're getting from Satish. I think to some extent, sir, have I been successful in getting that out of you? Because you don't seem to speak much. So I'd like to just gloat upon that for a while. That to some extent I have been a little successful in getting things out of Satish. So Satish ji, I recall you saying that the success of a project is not just defined by delivering the project on time, but it is also defined by the feedback that we receive from our stakeholders. Because one may think that, okay, I have delivered the project on time, I have done as per the BRD and the NSO. But again, the feedback is equally important. And you also mentioned that we should only speak about, we should not speak but focus on our positives and not focus about our negatives. Yes, you must learn from them, but not focus a lot today. So keeping that thought in mind, Satish, coming from personal experience as well and hearing a lot of COVID managers as well, they have this constant feeling or a constant, I'll say, concern with their stakeholder value. That at times, no matter whatever they do, no matter to whatever length and breadth they go, the stakeholders seem to be losing pay. And then, despite the project managers having their best interests at heart, in such a scenario, Satish, what is your take on that? How do project managers use emotional intelligence in such a situation?
I think I have covered some part of it initially. And the important thing is when you interact with the senior manager or stakeholders, you normally come to know how willingly things are built. So today, if you look at the industry, some projects are done for good to go. Some projects are must to go. Okay, now typically if you're talking today in industry, AI, looking at the cost, people will be reluctant to roll out, but there is no option. Okay, but they do it. Okay, so project manager successfully does it. But so, upar wala senior manager will surely come back and say, I'm just expecting something more to this. Because today people are not in fact aware of what is AI. Where are the use cases for? Correct? And most of the time, if you look at the projects, I think, for example, this is appraisal. If you go to your line manager and say, sir, yes, I मैंने ये किया, that was your duty. So success is not just a duty. Success is basically, then you propagate the success also. But I'm sure the senior manager is aware of that these efforts have been put. And that's why the success story has come. Okay. So adaptation also plays a very important role. So adaptation is not about successful rollout. Adaptation is basically whatever contribution you do or whatever objective your project has this been successful? And for that, you need to put efforts on training people, making people aware that this is been rolled out, this is going to be the new methodology. Now, for example, I use a traditional attendance system. Okay, from there, today we are talking about success factor or maybe SAP success factors or these kind of rollouts. Okay, people want to apply for the leave. Earlier they used to put it on the mail. Today you have to go on the site and on the system. So that basically a change is very important. And many times you will find that even senior management or stakeholders are a bit reluctant for the change. And that brings the uneasiness in accepting that the change is successful.
Correct. So, I think I'm completely dumbfounded by this new Labmin Satish Jain, and you'd be kind of making me speechless time and again because change, I believe, is the only constant motivation. And let's say for budding project managers, I think what I would say from Satish sir, that while once you are in, and then you actually, obviously we have to collaborate with the stakeholders, but again change is important. If something is not working, बस मैंने क्या देखा ऐसे project managers बोलते हैं कि यार मैंने तो अपना काम किया है, उनको नहीं समझ आएगा, मत समझ आए.
That may not work because your success is not defined by rollout. Defined by how quickly people adopt that success.
Correct. So both need to be very open to change. Yeah, the stakeholders and the project manager also. One must not be rigid, because what I understand. Exactly. Right. So, Satish ji, just continuing with that thought you mentioned, I mean, we're talking about change. You also mentioned about AI. Like, AI is probably when it came out 1 or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'm talking specifically about India. Maybe in the first world geographies, the impact may be a little more. But in India, it's become the buzzword, I would say. Right? People are talking about it. And actually, some companies are implementing AI to disrupt their moat, that we call it, or their competitive advantage. So in such a scenario, Satish, like AI is actually changing the way how we work. It is changing the work we do, not only the way, but also the work that we do. What aspects of emotional intelligence one must actually keep in mind to maintain or to strike off a balance with AI?
I think I'll give you a different thought process for the AI also.
Yes.
AI is used replacing the routine activities. Okay, most of the time. Okay. AI is what basically decision making comes very quickly because it's based on the past experience. But you cannot replace the experience of the people. Okay. So I always feel that I think then you need to start looking at this road in a different way. I used to collect the data, compile the data. Now AI will do it for you. Now you are a decision maker. So you start working as a role of manager. So rather than being a transaction-oriented personality, go to the leadership role or maybe supervisory role, which will help you to start thinking differently. So AI is not going to replace anybody. It's going to enhance your role. So the person who try to enhance his role will be successful again and again. The moment you start saying AI will take away my job, I think that is not true.
Right, because no, sir, this is a constant fear in the industry, right? You would also agree to this because a lot of people say that, "Arey, आज मैं काम कर रहा हूँ, पता नहीं आजकल क्या हो रहा है, tomorrow AI will come and eat up my job. I will be left jobless." And that person is absolutely
Tell me, I think for last so many years we are doing automation.
correct.
How many job got replaced?
Well, jobs did not get replaced, but people had to upskill themselves. Correct.
The people who didn't upskill, they went out of the industry.
Correct. Right.
And that is what is going to happen with AI also.
What I understand, Satish, he says we do not have to be afraid of it. Rather, we should embrace it. Yes, for our betterment.
Exactly.
And we should not be afraid that, okay, AI will eat our job, but the mindset should be how can we leverage AI into making ourselves better? I think that is...
So I'll give you a very simple example.
Yes.
So earlier you used to draft a letter for recruitment of a person, invitation letter. Now AI is doing it for you. So my clerical work is replaced. Now what is left is just correction to be done. So that becomes your managerial work.
Right.
So look at it in different way rather than looking at it necessarily.
We should not look at it as a job either, but as a value adder.
Value added, correct.
Right. That is the...
So my most of the GDs, I do it from ChatGPT. Okay, that helps me to get all the complete insight, and then whichever is I required, I keep it. Otherwise, I'll remote. So that becomes easier for. So instead of I thinking 360 degree, he is thinking there for me. I'm getting it what I want and then take it out.
Correct. So non-value added tasks, we can delegate it to AI and we can focus on building value for ourselves and subsequently for the people or the organization.
And you have more time to think.
Correct. Time is money, sir, is at the end of the day. So a tool is saving time that I believe we must embrace. It's correct. Got it. Quite a lot of insights, I must say. I think this episode is really going to be a goldmine for all of us, I believe, sir. Satish ji, just to conclude, we have a very fun segment towards the end of this podcast wherein it's considered like a rapid fire, where I'll be asking very quick questions to you. And I would just request you to give quick answers, probably in a word or a single line at the motto. And this is just a fun segment for all of us and for all the viewers who will actually get to know your immediate thoughts given your experience on some of these situations. So, the first question, Satish, is one project management myth that you would want to bust.
Project management needs intelligence. Okay. Is what is a myth?
Project management intelligence is a myth.
It's a mechanical process. Only thing is we need to have more, what you can say, leadership or maybe emotional part to it so that you can handle it more. Because today the Microsoft project takes care of everything. Okay. It gives you a complete plan. You have to just follow it one by one.
Interesting. So, for the second question, Satish, most overused corporate buzzword. I think this is very easy.
Earlier it was more about AI ML. Okay. And today also people keep talking about AI ML only. So the AI ML, if you go to any of the seminars, they talk about AI ML, or I think that is the only word. Most overused about I read. So today I think one more thing is cyber security intelligence, or maybe we keep talking about the security products.
All right. So these, in your opinion, are the most overused because people are using these words or phrases, but they are not aware of the context.
Actually, they are not aware of what they are using it.
Okay. Right. So, the last question, Satish, in the fun trivia, fun tech trivia segment is one tool that you personally can't survive without. What is that one? WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp is here to stay. We may come and go, but WhatsApp will stay. Right. Thank you so much, Satish ji. It was indeed a lovely experience and a pleasure actually interacting with you. I think I personally have gained so many insights, and I'm sure our viewers also may have gained a lot of new ideas and insights from this podcast. Thank you so much, Satish ji, for your time. It was a pleasure interacting with you, Satish ji. And for all our viewers, thank you so much for your time as well. We shall be coming up with more such episodes in the times to come. Until then, stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you so much.